Good evening. I would like to call to order the Kaiser City Council. It is Monday, February 3rd, 2020, and ask our city recorder to please call roll.
Councilor Herrera.
Here.
Councilor Parsons. Here. Councilor Smith.
She is excused.
Mayor Clark.
Here.
Council President Freeman. Here. Councilor Reed. Here. Councilor Kohler.
Here.
Would you all please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you all very much. Tonight, we don't have anything under special orders of business. We will go then to committee reports, which is, first up is the Volunteer Coordinating Committee, recommendation for appointments to Budget Committee, Kaiser Points of Interest Committee, Traffic Safety Bikeways Pedestrian Committee. City Manager.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Is this on? No? Hello? Hello? Is that on? Sure doesn't, does it?
Well, your light's on, so somebody's home.
Light is on.
Switch mics.
Hello? Hello?
There we go.
Hello? Okay, there we go. Thank you. Volunteer Coordinating Committee met on January 16th, 2020 to review applications and interview candidates for openings on several committees. The committee is recommending the following applicants for appointment. For the Budget Committee, Francisco Salvador, for the remainder of the term, position number 5, expiring August 31st, 2020. Kaiser Points of Interest Committee, Robert Becker, for the remainder of the term for position number 1, term expiring November 30th, 2022. And for the Traffic Safety Bikeways Pedestrian Committee, Jamie Davis, for the remainder of the term for position number 5, with the term expiring December 31st, 2020. It is recommended City Council accept the recommendation of the Volunteer Coordinating Committee and appoint the applicants as outlined above. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you very much. Are there any questions on the staff report? Council President Freeman?
I move that the Kaiser City Council approve the recommendations of the Volunteer Coordinating Committee to the Budget Committee, Kaiser Points of Interest, Traffic Safety Bikeways Pedestrian Committee.
How about that?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that the Kaiser City Council accept the recommendations from the Volunteer Coordinating Committee for the appointments to the Budget Committee, Kaiser Points of Interest Committee, and the Traffic Safety Bikeways Pedestrian Committee. Any further discussion? I'd like to note for the record that Mr. Becker is here, and I'm very happy that he has applied to be on the Kaiser Points of Interest Committee, and it's going to be a great connection with our Kaiser Heritage Foundation as he is part of the, does great work at the museum. Nice. Councilor Herrera.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I want to add that, he brings a lot of experience, like I say, and he's already attended one meeting and it's already made some great suggestions. So, welcome.
Very good. And also very excited for Francisco Saldivar and Jamie Davis. I believe this is the first time for both of them volunteering for city committees. And that is something that I know we as a council have been looking to improve or increase the opportunity for more people in our community to volunteer. So this is a good step. Councilor Kohler.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I just wanted to mention that Mr. Davis also came to the Traffic Safety Bike Ped Committee meeting last month. So that, again, it's great to have people that are willing to step up and do.
Very good. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passes unanimously. Is there anybody who came here to do a committee report? Okay, not seeing anyone. Then we'll go on to public testimony. This time is provided for citizens to address the council on any matters other than those on the agenda scheduled for public hearing. We have no public hearing scheduled for this evening. Was there anybody signed up? Sorry about that. Okay. Is there anybody who would like to address the council this evening? Yes. So Colleen Bush from the Salem Kaiser Transit Board. Welcome.
Am I on?
Yes, you are now.
Okay. Good evening, Colleen Bush with the Salem Kaiser Transit District. Chariots, I live in Kaiser, represent Kaiser on the board. And we have a special announcement that the Canada.
Hey,
Sunday service, May 3rd.
all right.
And that is 89 days, 5 hours, and some change from now. So we also, I want to say that our ridership has gone up. We're up 10% over last year, this time of year, across the board, mostly due to Saturday service and our later service on evenings. And our Saturday service, we've served about 100,000 people since September. Yes. So we can get excited in our 40th year of service. So I think that's about it.
Right?
Very good.
Thank you. Any questions? One thing I have noticed on Saturdays is people are out there using the buses. I know I hear stories from folks that are very happy to be able to use the buses to get to work and to take care of life on the weekends outside of work if they happen to work Monday through Friday. So I know that for the people I talk to, it has been a huge help.
Once you start giving more of the service and you're more reliable, oh, I can use the rest of it too. So,
Yeah.
Yep.
And then youth passes continue to be a good option for
Yes.
young people.
I can find that little piece of information pretty fast. Well, it was there.
This is available to all the youth in our community, as I recall. Put you on the spot.
I lost it, I'm sorry, but it's quite high. So if I find it, I'll shout out to you.
All right, thank you very
Sorry.
much. Thank you for joining us tonight, and thank you for your service on the Salem Kaiser Transit Board.
Okay, thank you very
Appreciate it.
much. And congratulations to Hirsch Sangster, who was on our budget committee for Citizen for Kaiser.
Hear, hear.
Yeah.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who would like to address the council under public testimony tonight? All right, then let us go to item 8A, which is administrative action. Community Center fee waiver request, Latinos en Acción Scholarship Event. City Manager.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. In 2018 and 2019, the Latinos in Action Committee held their Latino Recognition Scholarship event at the Kaiser Community Center. In both years, City Council waived the rental fee and security cleaning deposit, but charged staffing costs, which is option number 4 below. The committee is once again asking for a fee waiver for the 2020 event. The event will be held on Thursday, May 7th, from 7 until 8:30 p.m. Community Center Iris Room A would accommodate this event. The rental rate for this room, including the Kaiser Citizen 25% discount, will be $300. This rate includes staffing costs and use of the kitchen. There is a $750 refundable security cleaning deposit that is collected prior to the event. Certificate of liability insurance is required for the event. So once again, we are, I just want to remind you that in the last 2 years, the council has approved condition number 4, or option number 4, just for your consideration again for this year. Staff recommends City Council discuss the above listed options and make a motion directing city staff how to proceed with the Latinos in Action Committee event. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you very much. Are there any questions on the staff report? Councilor Parsons?
You said May 7th, is that budget?
Yeah, but is that not a budget night?
Ooh,
Tim?
I believe it is, yes.
Yeah, because I have the budget dates in my calendar, and I've got the 7th and the 12th. Ouch. So something for us to think about. Councilor Herrera.
thank you very much, Madam Mayor. Thank you for allowing me to be here in council and everybody else. And you guys look pretty good from this angle. So, first of all, we want to thank you for your past support. And a little bit about LAC, or Latinos en Acción. I just want to mention that some of the things that we do, we describe ourselves as a small group with a big heart. And one of the things that we bring to Kaiser is we kind of fill in the need for little areas or opportunities of volunteerism here and there throughout the community. We've actually helped with mentoring, tutoring, interpreting, helping with the homeless, and we'd like to fill needs. And a good example of that was this Saturday night, which you witnessed our volunteer for the Beacons, which we had almost 400 people. It was quite successful, and all the volunteers were provided by our committee. And also the the young volunteers were with our leadership. So it's something I call cross-volunteering. We bring them all in together. So we had 3 different groups, and that's kind of stuff we like to do, just so you know. And of course, the big thing that we're asking for here tonight is the opportunity to continue our work with the high school graduates, and majority of who we have been mentoring or we've been kind of allowing to follow their career through the grade school and middle school. And now as high school seniors in McNary, we like to recognize their accomplishment, because some of them, like I say, had pretty rough road, different backgrounds, language barriers to many schools. And we feel like this is a great opportunity. And the reason we ask this because the last couple of years we've given 39 scholarships, and we've made a difference. Our emphasis is on having the kids, not so much giving, but an investment, and our message is to help them, but to bring them back to help others. It's important to build community with our students. The reason we focus on Latino students is because these folks are the guys that we've been mentoring and working along and encouraging them to get to that step of graduating from high school, which sometimes is very difficult in some situations. I'm asking you tonight to waive the same thing that we've been asking the last 2 years, which is, I guess, option 4. And as far as the date, we had that date. It doesn't mean, we're early enough to where we can probably work something out, hopefully if there's availability. We like to do it on the Mother's Day week anyway, because we give the mothers little roses, as you know. But my ask is for the same thing, and if you have any questions about our event or anything like that, feel free to ask.
All right, thank you so much. Questions? Council President Freeman.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I don't have a question. I just want to say that I've attended the event in the past, and it is a wonderful event to recognize these students along with other students that we recognize throughout the year. But what is nice is to talk to the families, that these are first generational students that are graduating from high school and then moving on to first generational college students. So it's heartwarming to hear their stories and to watch how proud the parents are of their students. So thank you.
Councilor Parsons?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I also have attended it the last couple of years. I also mentor a couple of these students, and I tell you that this scholarship that they give them is very meaningful, and I think it gives them purpose to go and get more scholarships, to realize that they can, and that there is money out there for them to do that. And I love meeting the families too, because they're very grateful. They're grateful for all we do. So they do take donations, so anybody willing to write a check to help with the scholarships, write it to LAC, you can give it to Mr. Herrera.
Thank you very much.
Indeed.
I will add something before if you have any questions. I will say something. We emphasize on coming back. Last year, some of my mentors at Kennedy Elementary 3 of them were actually students that we helped, and we encouraged them to come back. And part of their coming back is mentoring other kids. And that's the cycle that we talk about. So thank you. And by the way, Marlene has been a big supporter of not only mentoring, but helping with sponsoring students and things like that. And thank you very much, because that is important. The more money we can raise. And by the way, our community has been wonderful, donating and helping. All my friends always sponsor a student, and I think that it's all going to be reciprocated, and it's an investment in our community. Is what it is. And any other questions I can ask or add?
Councilor Kohler?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Councilor Herrera, Mr. Herrera on this chair. But anyway, it was a fun event to go to this last year. I very vividly remember getting some pictures taken, and I hope that those were some good fond memories for those kids. And it was fun to see and work with the group. A lot of fun, and thanks for the work that you're doing there. And I hope that we can do this on a night that doesn't conflict with a budget meeting, so that...
I think we can work something out. We'll work something out. Thank you.
Good. So one of the things that I would like people to notice also is that the graduation rates just came out for the schools in the Salem-Keizer School District. McNary, I believe, was 93% graduation rate, and a significant increase for students that in populations that had been not doing as well. So this is across the board, but it is efforts like Latino Action Committee and so many others that have really invested in our students so they know that them finishing is important to not only them, but to us as a community and how proud we are of them. So these investments such as this are really helping contribute toward the wonderful increases in our graduation rate. And since it's not 100%, we're not done yet.
And if I may add, all this work that we're doing is part of our council goals of outreach. I really believe that has been an impact on our community, not only the Latino community, the whole community, because I feel that it affects everybody in the long range. And like you said, the graduation rates, in our last meeting, we took a little credit for that, a little bit of credit for that.
Oh, yeah. As you well should.
As you should.
Absolutely. Councilor Reed.
Just one question. So I'm hearing a little bit like it's a possibility that you could change from that May 7th date. Is that going to affect our vote here as far as the waiver? Do we need, or can we just waive it for the event?
Yeah, Tracy's shaking her head, yes.
I believe you can waive it for the event itself, and we'll work on the date.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yes.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Anyone else like to speak to this event? All right, Council President Parsons. Oh, gosh, Freeman. Boy, that was blast from the past.
It's been a while.
Yeah, it has been. Wow.
I move that the Kaiser City Council adopt option 4, which is a waiver of the rental fee and the security cleaning deposit, but charge for staffing time, which is 4 hours at $20 an hour, which is an $80 fee for the event.
I'll second.
It has been moved and seconded that the Kaiser City Council waive the fees for the Latinos en Acción Committee event. Option number 4, waiving the rental fee and security cleaning deposit and charging for staffing. Any further discussion?
I can't vote.
Yes, you can. You don't have, Mr. Johnson, I don't believe that as a member of the Latinos en Acción Committee that he has a conflict of interest since there's no pecuniary?
That is correct. There's no actual pecuniary conflict. So.
Since you're not receiving a scholarship, I think you're good to go.
Okay. No scholarship?
No.
All right. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion passes unanimously, 1 absent. Item 8B, resolution establishing immunity from certain personal injury or property damage claims described in ORS 105.668. City Manager.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Mr. City Attorney.
Thank you, Chris, Madam Mayor and Council. A housekeeping measure with regard to the city's immunity. Generally, there's automatic immunity for recreational lands, so parks. Someone gets injured at a park, we're immune from liability unless there's gross negligence on the part of the city. So that's automatic, but there's this other one that for some reason you have to opt in. Why it's not automatic, I don't know. And so we prepared a resolution along the lines of the statute to indicate that we are opting into that immunity. And that covers, and it'd be rare in our situation, I would think, but uses of certain easements or unimproved right-of-ways. This isn't necessarily sidewalks, because those are different, but other kind of, and it even says on horse. I don't know if you have any horses in the city that use any public easements, but if we did, this would cover that. So in order to opt in, the council must adopt a resolution which is attached, and with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you very much. Are there any questions of the staff report? Council President Freeman.
I move that the Kaiser City Council adopt Resolution R 2020 establishing immunity from certain personal injury or property damage claims described in ORS 105.668.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that the Kaiser City Council adopt Resolution R 2020 establishing immunity from certain personal injury or property damage claims described in ORS 105.668. Discussion. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion passes unanimously, 1 absent. That then takes us to the consent calendar. Council President Freeman, would you please read the items on tonight's consent calendar?
Sure, we have 3 items on the consent calendar. Items 9A is a resolution extending workers' compensation insurance coverage to City of Kaiser volunteers, repeal of resolution number R 2012-2278. 9B is the approval of the January 13, 2020 City Council work session minutes. 9C is approval of the January 21st, 2020 City Council regular session minutes.
Thank you. Are there any polls?
Madam Mayor,
Council President Freeman.
I'd like to pull item 9C.
Okay. Anything else? All right, Council President Freeman.
I move that the Kaiser City Council adopt the consent calendar, items 9A and B.
Second?
The consent calendar, items A and B, have been moved and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion passes unanimously, 1 absent. Council President Freeman, 9C.
Sure, on 9C, which is the council minutes from January 21st, it has to do with the chickens. Sorry, I'm trying to find it in the minutes. But anyway, it was Councilor Reed, myself, and the mayor, page 3, that brought that forward, and it said Councilor Parsons, and it should say Councilor Freeman. So.
Okay. So with that correction, are there any other corrections to be noted for the minutes from January 21st, 2020? Okay, Council President Freeman.
I move the Kaiser City Council adopt the consent calendar 9C, which is approval of the January 21st, 2020 minutes as amended.
Second?
It's been moved and seconded that the minutes from January 21, 2020 be approved as amended. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion passes unanimously.
And just so you know, that's scheduled for the March Planning Commission.
Okay, good to know. We have some people who are really looking forward to being able to move forward with that, so thank you. All right, March, be there for the chickens. All right, moving on then. Councilor Ferrero, would you like to start tonight, please?
Sure. I had kind of a sort of busy. We had points of interest last week, which was very nice, and we welcome our new member, as I mentioned earlier. I also attended there are a whole bunch of stuff between then, but the Volcanoes banquet was really nice. It was attended by several of us, and I thought it was very good. And then, of course, the following night was Beacons, and I will say this, I want to thank the mayor for attending, and I will invite you folks, the rest of you next year. Hopefully we can get maybe a table, but I was really grateful for all the folks that participated because of the goal of paying anybody that wants to play high school sports be able to play and cover it. I also would like to congratulate Jules Martinez from Newburgh, the new city councilor, first Latino student councilor from the city of Newburgh. They've had some issues over there, but I think they're going to be okay. I'm pretty positive about the outcome overall. So I wish her well and the rest of the council, as well as the mayor. Tomorrow I have the Salem School District Family and Neighborhood Impact Committee. I'm on the executive committee of that, and that's kind of been really rewarding. It's a long process, but very rewarding in the end. We hope we're going to get there. Let's see, Friday, I'm going to be doing a second graders talk about government. Now, that's going to be challenging, second graders about government, local government. I'm thinking, okay, we'll get something done here. But anyway, that's going to be interesting. It's going to be in West Salem of all schools, but, when they invite me to stuff like that, they can't say no to grade schools. It's just, you can't do it. I would like to also, I mentioned Beacons earlier, and, Kaiser was well represented. I want to shout out to the Castronovos, Vicki Jackson, Betty Hart, the Hesses, there was a lot of couples and families from Kaiser that went support, not only Gib Gilmore and the recipients from Kaiser, the Zelinskis, as well as Ted and Agnes, but, looking around the room of 400 people and seeing a good chunk of Kaiser folks representing our school district and our event was very rewarding, and that's why I thought it was very, very nice. And by the way, the graduation rates from McNairy, congratulations to McNairy, I kind of followed that a little bit, it was actually 89%. But our goal, and this was last year, our goal is to move that above 90, up in 90s. And that's remarkable because the average in our area, we're 12 percentage points ahead of the average in our area. And that's huge. And just to mention, because I'm involved in individual education program, the guys that get their own programs, they went up from, this is astonishing, from 57% in 2016 to 77% in 2019.
Wow.
20 percentage points. In education, 2 percentage points improvement is huge. This was 20. So congratulations to McNairy and all the folks out there, especially the leadership out there. So I was invited to attend the Anthony Muniz, a former NFL professional player, will be here on Good Friday. So I don't know if we're having an event here, but I'm going to be at the table over with the YMCA group at the Salem Convention on April 10th, Good Friday. So that should be fun. So that's it for me. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Councilman Parsons.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Isn't McNairy the only high school in Sam Kaiser? No, I'm sorry. Yeah, Kaiser Salem. I too attended the Volcanoes Winter Banquet, and I also talked to my summer son today. He's in Arizona. They're already getting ready and practicing and knowing what team they're going to be on soon. So they're all rooting for the Volcanoes, though. So to continue their season because they enjoyed being here last year. Tomorrow I have the Stormwater Committee meeting at 4 o'clock. Now that I'm learning, I'm looking forward to that. We have a State of the County Wednesday with Marion County Commissioners at Broadway Commons at noon. We have a work session on Monday, and I have a Chamber Board meeting on the 12th. And that's all I have. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Busy time. Council President Freeman.
Sure. Thank you, Madam Mayor. A couple things, I wasn't at the last meeting, wasn't feeling so hot, so I want to just share a couple things from there and then go forward. So thank you to Councilor Herrera for covering West Kaiser for me last month. Actually I asked Councilor Smith and she had to work at engagement, and so I appreciate
Teamwork.
Councilor Herrera covering for that. I had the opportunity to be in Washington, D.C. for work in January, and I always appreciate visiting and seeing our nation's capital and coming back here. I ran into Pastor Dominguez a couple weeks ago and had a great conversation with him at the gym, believe it or not. It's amazing who you see. But he wanted me to pass along all the great work that he appreciates all of us doing. To city staff, he loves coming by and seeing our bilingual message reader board. He really is appreciative of that. Chief, he wants to sit down and have a conversation with you if he hasn't reached out to you. And again, it's just working together. It's that teamwork, just, how in community, how they can help us and how we can help them. But he's just very appreciative, and so I just wanted to pass that along to everyone here. And then something we learned at our last Marion County Commissioners Breakfast, we see a lot of homeless in our community, here in Kaiser and Salem, but a lot of people in downtown Salem have been donating items to the homeless around Nordstrom's and Rite Aid, and they're asking us not to do that, because what happens is when they try to find places for the homeless, they're leaving all that trash and things behind. And so if you really have items to donate to help the homeless, please take them to the Mission or other places where they can go get those items and they're really put to good use. And so upcoming, tomorrow night is our Charter Review Committee here at 6 o'clock. We are making great progress, thanks to Shannon and everyone on the committee. And hopefully tomorrow night we'll get it finished up, and then we'll be looking for opportunities for public testimony and input. So look for those dates. I'm fortunate to start the Police Academy on Thursday night, so I'm grateful for that opportunity for 8 weeks. February 12th is the Planning Commission. I'm sure we have great things, right, Nate?
Yes.
No, chickens is in March.
Okay.
You have to wait one more month for chickens, but that's
You'll get your packet on Wednesday, but it is basically our changing world with accessory dwelling units, et cetera, et cetera. This has to do with our access standards and clarifying that limiting for parcels is for parcels and not for residences, because now our world is changing.
There we go. So
Do it Easter.
If you want to know what that's about, attend the Planning Commission on the 12th. West Kaiser Neighborhood is February 13th, and the Marion County Commissioner Breakfast will be February 12th. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Councilor Reed.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I also attended the Volcanoes Banquet, and one of my biggest takeaways from there is that we need to get people in the seats. We need to get our community going to games. We all love the Volcanoes. We all love having them here, but it's really important to get them to games. And I have been slightly remiss in that, and went to a few games last year, and it was such fun. It's just an experience. You don't even really have to like baseball. It's just the whole experience of being in the baseball park, being part of the community. And so we're really encouraging people to come to those games. So the signs are always out. They have signs that say game tonight and so forth. And so they're well publicized, and just kind of a shout out to make sure to take advantage of that wonderful community activity. I will be at the Stormwater Committee meeting also on tomorrow. We have the Southeast Kaiser Neighborhood Association meeting this Thursday at 6:30 here at the Civic Center. And again, we need more attendees there. So if you are in the Southeast Kaiser neighborhood, please come. We would love to hear from you, and we would love to get your input. It's very important. We have a Kaiser Heritage Board meeting coming up, and Valentine's weekend, Love, Loss, and What I Wore is going to be at the Kaiser Community Homegrown Theater, and so I'm really excited about that. That will be the first of the year. And then I just wanted to say a few things about the graduation rates that we are so proud of, that we've heard a couple of times tonight. Just from the inside view, there are so many different angles that we're pursuing to make this happen. So many different people. Eric Jesperson's leadership has been exemplary as far as pulling this all together. We have different, and the district also has been very supportive of so many resources. McNary's efforts to become a national avid demonstration school has played a big part in this, because all teachers are focused on making this happen as well. So it is a real community effort, and we just really appreciate all of the different angles in the mentoring program and the Latinos en Acción program, and all of these programs, this is such a wonderfully supportive community. And that is what is special about having a one high school town, is we can focus our efforts on our one high school, and we do that well. So really impressed with their efforts, and are so proud of them. Thanks.
And also want to add that we're very proud of our teachers, and anybody watching who doesn't know that Councilor Reed is also one of our august team of teachers at the high school, and appreciate your work.
Thank you.
Councilor Kohler.
Thank you, Mayor Clark. First thing I'd like to do is say thank you for all those that attended the Kaiser Community Dinner. It was a lot of fun. We served over 330 people. It was just a great time. February 26th is the next one coming up, and St. Edward Catholic Church is going to be preparing the meal. Just like to say, if you would like to, if your company or your group would like to sponsor preparing a meal for the Kaiser Community Dinner, please contact me and we can talk about that. I was out of town most all last week working, and then because I was out of town all week, I said, Lisa, we need to go to the coast. So I missed a couple of the meetings that I would have liked to attended, but sometimes there's things that are more important. Legislative session started this week. That's pretty exciting, and a lot of interesting things going on there. Tomorrow I have the Stormwater Advisory Committee at 4, and then Wednesday is SEDCOR Luncheon at 11:30, and then at 5:30, the Claggett Creek Watershed Council in the McNary room just across the hall. And then the work session next Monday. And then I had a question about Thursday the 12th. Usually I either go to the Marion County Commissioners Breakfast or the Latino Business Alliance meeting. I'm not on either one of those this time, and it just seems strange. Is that really accurate?
Isn't that the 13th?
It is the 13th, and every once in a while you get a Thursday morning off, so congratulations.
Wow.
You got that straw this month.
One time a year.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Thank you very much. Anything else?
Just thanks for everybody, what they do, and how it's been a year now since I've been on the council, and It's been a huge learning curve, but I've felt an awful lot of support from an awful lot of people, and it's been a lot of fun. So thank you for that support and allowing me to learn.
You bet. Thank you. And I remember way back when, that first year, that is a steep learning curve, but we've got a great team here. I'm just going to add a couple of things. We're getting ready for the Mid-Willamette Valley Council of Governments Awards Banquet, which is on the 19th of this month. And so I've been working with the rest of the executive committee getting ready for that event. That will be here at our Kaiser Civic Center since I was chair in 2019. On the 23rd, we were able to congratulate the new executive director for the Mid-Willamette Valley United Way, and that's Rhonda Wolf. United Way is a very important part of all of the nonprofits that do a fantastic job in our community in providing services and also the opportunity to collaborate, to work together to help people in our community in a very meaningful way. So congratulations to Rhonda Wolf. On the 24th, I attended OMPOC, which is the Oregon Municipal Planning Organization Consortium. It is a group of folks that are head up the metropolitan planning organizations for federal transportation dollars, and I represent the Kaiser-Salem area and that group. Talked about legislative session coming up, which got underway today, the statewide transportation strategy regarding greenhouse gas and the impact that it could possibly have on our community, especially in looking at moving forward projects. And please don't study them again. Just, we already know what we need to build. Let's get them built. That's my editorial comment, and I'll be taking that editorial comment to LCDC, the Land Conservation and Development Council Commission, in March. Also then, we're planning for a fall summit that will be tagged on to probably the Association of Oregon Counties annual meeting. Let's see, the Mid-Willamette Valley Homeless Alliance, we had our meeting of the nominating committee for our performance and evaluation committee members. These people are going to be very important in helping us look at the organizations that are applying for federal dollars. Are they getting results? How are they getting results from people in our community to make sure that the dollars coming in actually are producing what we need, which is meaningful services for people in our community who are vulnerable, homeless, ill. We want to make sure that we're actually doing things that count. This afternoon, another subgroup of the Homeless Alliance met, and that was, thank you, Shannon Johnson. So all of us on the board for the Development Council for the Homeless Alliance, plus our legal counsels, met to work out the details for the ORS 190 organization that we need to form in order to move this work forward. So that agreement will come to a council near you once the wording is finalized on that. Coming up tomorrow, I'll be meeting with the Volcanoes Advisory Group and continuing to really push forward with making sure people understand how important the volcanoes are to our community, getting that message to Major League Baseball. I was on a phone call with mayors from across the country who are hosts to teams like ours, minor league teams, that were put on a list by Major League Baseball for reasons I can't possibly comprehend, that they think it would be a good idea to contract. And we're like, no, we're the bread and butter of sports fandom, of community engagement for baseball, and that is the minor league team. So we're going to continue to push forward that narrative, and let's pack the park, keep signing that petition. Major League Baseball needs to buy a clue, and we're going to help them buy that clue. The Mid-Willamette Valley Area Commission on Transportation will meet on Thursday, and that'll be our first meeting for the year. And this Saturday is the Ben Miller Park cleanup. So the Clyde Creek Watershed Council will be partnering up with our park staff to invite volunteers to come out at 9 o'clock to the Ben Miller Park for the annual cleanup. So come on out, rain or shine. Last year it was rainy and wet, and we still were out there anyway and had a brief but productive time, and then went home and got warm. The Commissioner's Breakfast covered that. And then I will be out of town this month from the 13th through the morning of the 18th, so I will be available by phone, but in the off chance we need something Council President Freeman will function as Mayor Pro Tem if I can't be reached. And then last but not least is on the 18th, I will be joining leaders from around our area in a roundtable with Congressman Kurt Schrader, bringing issues to him that are of relevance to our community. I also want to point out that he has been actively supportive of our efforts in regards to our Salem-Keizer volcanoes. And that is all I've got. Oh, one more thing. I was going to ask Councilor Smith to cover this, but the census is coming. Please be aware, get this out to your neighborhood groups, to folks you know, whatever group you're around. Please let people know that the census in April is coming. This will be very simple.
The first mailing is in March.
Okay. So as soon as you get it, you can either do it online. It's only 10 questions, very, very simple. And we want a high turnout. The reason being that aside from the big count for Oregon, possibly a 6th congressional district, more closer to home, is that, well, if we get an accurate count of the people who are here, we qualify for more federal dollars coming back into our community. And it's dollars that are owed us. So we want to make sure we have a complete and accurate count for the census. So watch for that. We're going to do more and more outreach on social media and get the information out to folks in your community. That is all I've got. So let's go on then to other business. This time is provided to allow the mayor, city council members, or staff an opportunity to bring new or old matters before the council that are not on tonight's agenda. City manager.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Tracy.
I have nothing, thank you.
Tim?
Madam Mayor, City Council, I have a couple of things. Just a reminder, with the utility billing system, we're in the process of transitioning from one payment system to another. We've been working on this for several months. So if you're still using the old system, that system is going to be going away probably at the end of this month. We did experience some issues today with the payment platform. It was timing out on a lot of people. I believe that issue has been fixed. But the advice from the service provider was try to run your card again if it doesn't go through the first time, and it does time out. If it doesn't work the second time, wait about an hour or so. They haven't been able to specifically identify what the issue is, but they are aware of it and they've been working on it. And I do anticipate that it'll be resolved tomorrow. I think the internet broke today. Our city website was down as well for a while today. It is back up and running. You're going to get a error message that says it's not secured at this point, but it really is secured, so you're free to go to that website. We're not in the process of being hacked. We had some back-end changes that are getting resolved, and everything should be back to normal by tomorrow morning. So that's all I have. Thank you.
Chief T.
Yeah, Councilor Freeman noted the Citizens Academy second annual is kicking off this Thursday. Looks like a pretty good crowd. Councilor Smith's coming, Councilor Freeman, Gary Blake will be there. Tried to get Jose Dominguez to come, couldn't make that happen. But when you see who's there, I think you'll find it pretty enjoyable.
Mr. Lawyer.
Nothing bad, thank you, Chris.
Mr. Brown.
Just wanted to remind you that next week's, and I know you're going to talk about it, but next week's work session is about urban growth boundary issues, traffic impacts from growth issues, and information that we have recently obtained from our neighborhood Land Conservation and Development Commission, Department D, not the C. No, it's all good, but it's getting time that we are going to be making decisions. And so I want to lay out the path and what those milestones are and what information and how we anticipate navigating this.
Okay. Mr. Johnson.
Thank you. On Council President Freeman brought up the Charter Review Committee. We are meeting tomorrow. I hope to get through the draft, but we won't be coming to council for probably a couple months. One, we want to have a public hearing on the draft as it's currently proposed, and then there'll probably be another meeting after that to finalize it. But we're hoping to bring it to you in May, if possible, or early June at the very latest. So that's all I have.
Anybody on council have any additional questions for any department directors? Councilor Herrera.
Thank you, sir. I will say this, I've interacted with some of the folks on the chart committee, and they're really grateful for your work and your preparation. They mentioned that, both of them that I talked to mentioned that you made it simple for them because of the way you're prepared.
Yeah, and
you're doing the chunks. I like the way you're doing it.
Yeah, and I appreciate that. I'm glad you brought it up because it gives me an opportunity to thank our assistant Tammy Harms, who does most of the hard work in terms of formatting, all of those. She actually started coming, I think, to the second meeting after I did the first meeting, and she couldn't figure out my notes. So she offered, and I said, you know, Debbie is taking minutes, but it's really, it's pretty intense in terms of wordsmithing as we go, and so she has come to that, and we use a matrix for everybody except Kim here that shows the league version, the current version, and then a column for proposed, you know, and we wordsmith each section, then they have to coordinate the sections too, so it is a bigger task than I imagined.
That's precisely what I was referring to in your system. So thank you very much for your contribution there.
Madam Mayor.
I've got a question for Mr. Lawyer. We've been getting questions about the signal heads over at Chamorro and Lock Haven or Kaiser Station Boulevard. So are those getting ready to go live?
Sometime, hopefully soon. I've been asking for an update on schedule for that and haven't received anything through the contractor that's working for the transit district. So I've seen them working out there, and I've asked, but I haven't gotten a commitment on when. So.
Okay.
The signal at the transit center driveway will remain temporary for another few weeks. One of the foundations for one of the signal poles needs to be repoured. The contractor somehow got the bolt pattern 30 degrees off alignment. So the mast arm was pointing kind of northwest instead of west. So. Oops. But I mean, that the temporary signal will still function. There's no problem there, but it'll be a little longer than expected for the permanent signal to be activated.
And since the two signals, I think, are going to be interconnected, maybe that's...
They are interconnected now.
Okay.
Yeah, that was one of the things that we talked about with the temporary signals, that it had to be interconnected to Kaiser Station, Lock Haven, Chamorro intersection, and it is.
Okay.
So.
Bill, could you provide some sort of brief to the council on the striping that we've talked about in the past? So just because I know it's come up a couple of times and it's probably been on Facebook, so.
Yes, I noticed some time ago at night on River Road primarily that the striping was not very reflective. I actually had a complaint from one of my boys, Dad, can you do something about that? And excuse me. So I considered the options. I actually called the county to see if they could restripe River Road. River Road having just been paved from basically Claggett to the South City limits. Whenever you pave a street, the striping is difficult to see for the first year. That's just, I don't know the reasons, technical reasons why, I just know that it happens. River Road was sprayed twice after it was resurfaced, which is standard practice. I called the county to see if they would reshoot River Road. Unfortunately, their striper truck was down for a major overhaul. So no, they couldn't do it. Since that time, I've had some complaints, and I've noticed on some other roads, Chamorro Road North is one, Lock Haven, that the markings are just not very reflective. Contacted the county, they're looking into it. First question was, did you do something different? Was there a change? No, there was no change other than they had actually increased, they told us they increased the pressure, I'm assuming air pressure, on the paint and the glass beads. The glass beads are what makes the reflectivity of the lines based on a class they had gone to. The county individual was going to drive our roads, drive some of the county roads, and do a comparison to see if there's something different in Kaiser than in the county. I've not heard back from him yet. I actually dug into some invoices from the county to see did we pay for as many glass beads last year in 2019 as we have in the past. I'd hoped to get some detailed information. What I got was how many dollars they charged us. In 2019, they charged us like $12,000 for the glass beads. Oh, in 2018, they charged us $9,000 for glass beads. In 2017, it was $12,000. So it didn't lead me anywhere. It was not where I'd hoped it would take me. I'd hoped they'd have, amounts, how many pounds or something. That wasn't in the information. So at this point, I'm waiting to hear back from the county, gentleman at the county, to see if he's noticed some differences elsewhere. hopefully they can get their truck back online and make some improvements. But short of that, I don't know what we can really do until they can paint them again.
Point is, if you're having a hard time seeing the lines, especially in certain areas, it's true. The lines are very difficult to see, especially if it's wet in any way. So drive safely. We're working on it. It's going to be a while, partly because the county who does all of our striping, their equipment is down for overhaul, so they don't have the ability to even come back and address the issue for us even if they wanted to. So it's going to be a little while. Please drive safely and understand that it's not your eyes. It actually is happening. So.
And I actually had some correspondence through email about reflectors, and I looked into reflectors, and my first reaction to reflectors was, it's a maintenance nightmare. You put them down, then you got to maintain them. Well, I did a little looking online what they cost, and for a quality one, and I didn't do a lot of research, but I found some quality reflectors that were $9 a piece. And so I thought, well, that's quite expensive. I was thinking $2 maybe. So I kind of looked roughly, and from about Claggett Street to Dearborn, it would take about 400 of them. Well, okay. It gets expensive fast, which is, money's not always the only concern. The other part of it's maintaining them. Once you put them down, you got to keep them down. And so I'm not real excited about pursuing reflectors at this point. If I get, I'll say, unfavorable information back from the county, then maybe I'll reconsider that. We might do something toward next spring, summer for the following dark months of the year. So,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you very much. Written communications, I've got a couple of things. One is a notebook that I received from Jean Collins and Joan Stembridge. It's called Strategies for Addressing Homelessness, a search for best practices in and around Northwest Oregon. They wrote, Dear Mayor Clark, we are longtime Salem residents and we are very concerned about the crisis of homelessness in Marion and Polk counties. In an effort to contribute to the search for a solution to this issue, we have recently compiled a study on best practices in addressing homelessness. We have prepared a report entitled Strategies for Addressing Homelessness, a Search for Best Practices in and around Northwest Oregon. We hope that by providing the information to leaders in the community, we can help to facilitate the effort to end homelessness. We have presented copies of our report to Mayor Chuck Bennett and City Councilor Tom Anderson, both of whom accepted the report enthusiastically. Councilor Anderson suggested that we also provide you with a copy of our report in hopes that the information may stimulate conversation, collaboration, and effective action to create long-term solutions to the crisis of homelessness that we are all experiencing. We are presenting this report to you in the spirit of good citizenship, and we hope that you will find it helpful. Should you wish to discuss the contents with us, please feel free to contact us. Thank you for your leadership in the community and for your efforts to address this complicated and pervasive problem. Sincerely, Jean Collins and Joan Stembridge. So I will give this to Tracy to scan in and to make that available to the members of the council and also to, pardon? You have something also?
No, he has one too.
Oh, you've got one, you already got a copy?
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll get copies posted online. What they did was they went to a number of places that have programs that address different types of housing types or programs and so forth and supports that are used in various areas in our community to help different populations, from the youth to domestic violence survivors and so forth and so on. So a lot of these are with the nonprofits with whom we are already working in the Mid-Willamette Valley Homeless Alliance. So I appreciate them taking the time to bring information that can continue to enhance our collaboration in helping people. So we'll make that available. And we've got a very nice card from some former Kaiserites. We can't thank you all enough for everything you did in helping to solve the issues on our property next to Sunset Park. Thank you so much for your support. We are living in our RV in Taylor, Texas, waiting for our home to be remodeled. It's all good, but I think we're on a different planet. We miss Kaiser and its people, the best 50 years ever. We'll never forget your kindness and consideration. signed from Shirley Deshawn and Daryl Richardson. So I wanted to share that with all of you. All right, agenda input. We will meet next Monday at 6 p.m. and we'll have a work session on the building lands inventory, housing needs analysis, and transportation growth study issues. Our next regular council meeting will be on Tuesday, February 18th, 2020 at 7 p.m. They will be on Tuesday because of the Monday holiday for President's Day. And after that, March 2nd, 7 p.m., we will also meet in regular session. That is all I have. Is there anything else for the good of the order? All right, thank you all very much. The time is 7:55 and we are adjourned.
Okay, Tim.